it looks like for now, you've gone on to the next round of that fight. Now, is the fight over? Nobody knows. I have no idea. But I'm going to tell you what I have just read and what I'm seeing. Now, before we get started, do me a favor. Please hit the thumb up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Also, subscribe to the Black Financial Channel. We have a black-owned financial news initiative. And so later on today, I'm going to continuously do updates on the economy and what's going on with everything from the virus to the economic recovery to everything else. So make sure you subscribe to theblackfinancialchannel.com. Here's the deal. Here's what I'm saying. Hey, Aaron, how are you? Good to see you. And hey, I'm good to see you too. So Byron Allen, he as you know, the lawsuit of Byron Allen. Did any of you follow what was going on with that? We're going to talk about the stimulus situation in a second. I don't want to lose my focus here, Brian, but that's a great question. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I actually had notes that I put together for a discussion I wanted to have about that, but I saw this particular case, and it affects our community a little bit more, so I thought I would hit this one first. And so the Byron Allen case was interesting. Byron was suing Comcast because he felt that race was the driving factor behind why he did not get his channels picked up. And this is a big issue because we know that Black access to media is a huge deal. We also know that things like access to capital are a huge deal. I did a review the other day of a film called The Banker that you guys should check out because it's a great application of financial lessons that we discuss in this platform all the time and in the Black Business School all the time. So Byron filed a suit. And here's the summary. Here are the key points. Sorry. Hit the thumbs up button. I gotta finish choking right quick. And don't y'all be out here telling people y'all think I got the coronavirus. Even if I had it, I would recover. Most people don't die from the virus. In Italy, 90% of the people who died from the virus were over the age of 70. I just want to make sure y'all know that. So it doesn't mean it's not real. It just means stop panicking. So give me a second. Just wash your hands, stay at home, and do what you're supposed to do. All right, so the Supreme Court handed a win to Comcast on Monday in a long-running racial discrimination suit brought by the Black media mogul Byron Allen, who alleged the cable giant discriminated against him when it refused to carry channels operated by his network Entertainment Studios. In a unanimous opinion authored by Justice Neil Gorsuch, and I think Gorsuch was I want to say he was appointed. Was he appointed by Trump? I don't remember. But anyway, I think he's conservative. The top court agreed with Comcast in upholding a high bar for bringing suits under the 1866 Civil Rights Act. The justices sent the case back to the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which had earlier ruled Allen need only reach an easier-to-meet discrimination standard to consider the matter once again. So the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals actually gave Byron Allen a lifeline, from what I understand. This court actually lowered that standard of what it takes to prove discrimination. And I think was, from what I understand, I'm not a lawyer here, but from what I understand, Byron Allen was actually happy with their ruling. And it got pushed up to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court pushed it back down, and they're like, no, this is not. You have not proven discrimination. And so it seems to me that the big defining issue here is what they call the but-for clause. But-for meaning, like, if we would have let you in if you were white, but for the fact that you're Black, we're not letting you do nothing, right? We're not going to bring you in. We don't want you on our network because you're Black. That's a pretty high standard when you're basically saying that your race is the only and the leading and the only and the primary and the dominant variable as to why we don't want you around. That's kind of tough because, people can always find another reason to not bring you around. You know how it is when you're Black, right? They start changing the rules around, or they start nitpicking on stuff, I can remember when I was in my PhD program. And we all had to take this exam. We had to take this what they call the comprehensive exam. And the comprehensive exam was hard as hell. Basically, the comprehensive exam was so difficult that nobody could really pass it outright. It was that difficult. And what would happen here, this is what's funny. This is how the politics can play against us as Black people. This is why I tell you to be careful about trying to integrate too hard into their systems, because they rig the game against you. So here's what they would do. Before the exam was even taken, they already knew who was going to pass and who wasn't going to pass. People already knew that. Like, we'd be whispering, Ling Mi isn't going to pass. And it would be because everybody knows who they were trying to get rid of. So in their minds, they were like, we're going to use this big exam as an excuse to get your Black ass out of here, or an excuse to just get rid of the undesirables. You see, being Black isn't the only thing in the world that can make you undesirable. There are a lot of other factors that can make you undesirable. And they wanted my Black ass out of there, right? So, so I was, doing really well. I was a good student. And I took this exam, and there was one professor named Ingrid who hated my guts for various reasons. I'll tell you guys that story later. And Ingrid just made sure that I did not pass. She was just like, I don't care if he writes a Nobel Prize winning paper on this exam, I'm still going to find a reason to make sure he fails. So effectively, now eventually I got through because I had other friends that they helped me get through. And one day I should really tell you guys the story, because believe me, I was a big mouth Black man back then, and that don't fare too well in white PhD programs where they have no Black people within a 100-mile radius. But the point of the matter is to say, I get what Byron's saying, right? Like, I agree with him. I think he deserves it. They got all kinds of mediocre, crappy TV on the air right now. One of the things that you lose when you're Black, when you're trying to integrate into white systems, I use that caveat and condition because that is optional. You don't have to go and lean on white folks to get opportunity. You don't have to sort of live in a world where you feel that opportunity only exists if they give it to you. You don't have to be in a situation where you feel that the only way you can get through the door is if they decide to open it or let you in. You can build a door. You can open the door the way you want to. You can build a door and open it for other people, but you got to have enough vision to want to do that, right? But to that extent, though, for those who are trying to get through the doors that are built by white people or that are owned by white people, I'm not going to say built because, Black people built this country too. We know this. I am sure. I think Byron, like a lot of Black people in America, he doesn't have the right to be mediocre. He doesn't have the right to be mediocre. Like, I'm just going to tell you the honest to God truth. If Byron's watching, I apologize, brother, but on this platform, we tell the truth. I'm not real inspired by TV shows, TV networks called JusticeCentral.tv, Comedy.tv, Pets.tv, Cars.tv. If I had a network, I wouldn't have a channel called Cars.tv. I just wouldn't. Doesn't mean that Cars.tv isn't good, but I understand why you built it, right? You built it because you're talking to the advertisers. Like, look, you want to advertise cars? Well, advertise on Cars.tv. You sell pet food? Well, we got Pets.tv. Pet lovers are going to be watching. I get that. I respect that. I think that's cool, but that's not necessarily inspirational content that I think is going to draw millions of viewers and help the network like blow through the roof. So even if Byron were a white guy, I could see a network saying, Pets.tv, no, right? But the reason Byron lost this lawsuit, the reason that the Supreme Court ruled against him, is connected to the very reason that he was trying to fight in the Supreme Court in the first place. The reason you can connect the two is because America is a fundamentally racist fucking country. Racism lies within the very fabric of the society within which you live. So the very same racism that caused him to go to the court for recourse is the same racism that rejected him when he got to the court in the first place. A guy like Neil Gorsuch is a white man who's going to say, well, racism, there's no racism here. What are you talking about? Racism's a figment of your imagination. You're just complaining. You need to learn how to pick yourself up by your bootstraps like I did as a white kid, right? And he's not going to get it. He's gonna do something like what the conservatives are doing, which is to push for what they call that but-for clause, which says that in order to prove racism, that must be the only and the greatest driving factor behind why you didn't get the opportunity. But let's think about this, right? There's a whole nother reality out here that we know is completely ignored. That's the reality that I speak to. Let me do a quick survey. Let me prove this to you. I'm gonna call a quick meeting. I got my Vicky Dillard gavel. I'd like to call a quick meeting of the Council of Intelligent Black People. And I'd like to ask you a question. I'd like for everyone to give me a yes or no response to this question. Yes or no? You ready? Are you listening? Are you listening? Hear ye, hear ye. I'd like to ask you guys this question. Give me a yes or no. How many of you have ever been a victim of racism on the job or off the job or near the job? How many of you have ever experienced racism at school, on a job, walking down the street, just from being black? How many of you, give me a yes or no, have experienced racism at some point in your life where you felt that something was denied to you because you were black, or you didn't get an opportunity because you were black, or you tried to go get the job and you knew that it wasn't going to happen because you were black, or you failed the test because you were black, or somebody treated you funny because you were black, or some lady clutched her purse because you were black, or they wouldn't let you live in that apartment because you were black, or they denied you the loan because you were black? How many of you, yes or no, give me a yes or no, how many of you have been affected by racism in this country? I'm seeing nothing but yeses, nothing but yeses. I see you, Deshaun and Wayne and Fatima and Rufus and Casey and Luba Cody and Candace and Diamond Nita. I see you. And the reason that this is important, the reason it's important for me to ask that very basic question, this is a very simple question, but sometimes you come to your most powerful insights with the simplest questions. I asked you that simple question because that reflects the fact that America is still a society that has more than one reality. America is still a society that has yet to come to terms with its very racist, discriminatory nature. America has yet to come to terms with the savage behavior of some of its citizens toward other citizens, right? America is not yet the country where Anil Gorsuch can hear Byron Allen talk about his experience and even possibly fathom that Byron Allen might have a point, right? Anil Gorsuch can't do that. But I can. If Byron were to say, "Hey, bro, Dr. Boyce, man, you know how they are, man. We had pets.tv and we asked them to put it on the air and you know how racism works. You know how they do." And I'd be like, "Yeah, man, you know how they do." Now, mind you, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I'm not inspired by pets.tv. I wouldn't be like, "Yeah, man, I can't wait to watch pets.tv." But I can understand the racism and the discrimination, because I believe that if anybody's going to get a chance to put a show on the air or a network on the air called pets.tv, it's more likely to be a white person than a black person, because white people have many rights in white society that you don't have, one of which is the right to be mediocre. It's like when how they have football teams and the only time they let the black guy they finally hire a black coach is when the team is so bad that nobody wants to coach the team, right? Or he could have won a Super Bowl last year, but he has one bad season and they let him go fast. But a white guy can be mediocre for 10 years straight and they keep him on. Like the Dallas Cowboys, they had this guy named Jason Garrett who was a horrible coach, and every year they kept giving him another chance. Well, we know that if he were black, he would have been gone about 8 years ago. So my point is to say that that's what it is. That's America that you live in. Now, the difference between me and a Byron Allen is this. Byron Allen, God bless his soul. God bless this man, because he has far more faith in white people than I will ever have. I am a cynical bastard when it comes to the idea that white folks are innately going to be fair enough to really give us a fair shot in a system that they built and designed for their children. I just don't believe that, I'd be the guy who'd say, man, why would you even spend all that money going to court, when you can't even, when you know that when you get there, you know what they're going to say, right? I'm the cynic, right? But you need the optimist. You need the person who says, Boyce, you're too cynical. I'm going to try anyway, because you never know. Maybe sometimes they'll go out there and they'll try, and I'll be like, wow, white people let you do that? Good for you. Good for you, right? If Byron didn't have faith in white people, I don't know if he'd be a billionaire. You've seen his wife. His wife is not black, right? That's what it is. Y'all can think about it what you want. That's not my preference. I told you guys 8 years ago that when I get married, I'm marrying a black woman. That was just because that's just what I believe in. That's just how I roll. But with Byron, I think None of this surprises me at all, and I think that what it comes down to is is the solution. You guys know we're solution oriented on this platform, so I'm not going to leave you here without a solution. By the way, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button and the share and subscribe button before we move on. Please hit that thumbs up button if you can. That's really important. And also, if you're on Twitter or Facebook, please share this or retweet. And also follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. So here's the solution. The solution, in my opinion, is that when it comes to media, we need our own Black media. We need to own and control as much Black media as we possibly can. I don't believe that you will ever have Black media be honest and authentic when Black media is really managed and controlled by white media. So I'm not a guy that's going to spend my whole life trying to get a show or get a network on Comcast or get a channel on the Comcast network. I'm the person who says, let's work with what we've got and create our own networks. So you guys know, for example, we have Black Movie Night, which we do at least once a month. We're going to start doing it twice a month since you guys love it. Thousands of you signed up. And Black Movie Night is where I'm saying, look, we can't reach 50 million people, but we can reach about 800,000. So how about we get our Black filmmakers out here and our Black directors and producers and actors and actresses. And how about in our little world, we make these people into successful business people. We make them into movie stars. We give them opportunities to be seen and to be respected for the quality work that they do, instead of sitting on the bus stop waiting for a white man to drive by and pick them up and carry them off to the land of success and fame and fortune. Right? We have the ability to do that. We don't have what white folks have. It's going to take a while to get that, but we do have 1.3 trillion in spending power, most of which we give away. So if we simply redirect a fraction of that 1.3 trillion, we can create entire industries ourselves. Just 10% of that is $130 billion. Think about how much we could do as a community with $130 billion redirected to Black-owned businesses, and that's it. You can create dozens, if not hundreds of billionaires. You can create thousands of millionaires off of that. You can create thousands of businesses, and you can create thousands of jobs. So at the end of the day, Black people don't need, I don't feel that we need the Supreme Court. I don't feel that Black people need Comcast. I don't feel Black people need these corporations. All Black people really need is each other. You are your own institution. You are your own organization. You are your own social club. You are your own corporation. You are your own economic gang. And I think that by committing to each other and supporting things that are Black and consciously doing that, I think that we can go a whole lot further than we'll ever get by taking whatever crumbs the white man wants to flick off the table at us. He puts us at the little kids' table and he flicks us a couple crumbs, and we down there like dogs licking the crumbs up. And I think that we're better than that. I think we deserve better than that. And that's just the position that I have. But no disrespect to the Byron Allens of the world. I thought his case was interesting. I supported it from the beginning. I wanted to see how it would play out. None of this surprised me. I'm curious to see what the next step is going to be. And I know that Byron Allen is going to be good. And I give him props also for the fact that he bid heavily on that Nate Parker film. And you saw what they did to Nate Parker, right? Because they control their media. They can make you into whatever you want. So they decided they were going to make Nate Parker into a rapist, which kept that movie, an excellent movie, by the way, from doing really well. That Nat Turner movie that Nate Parker did was so damn good. Anybody see that movie? If you ain't seen it yet, you got to see it. It was an extraordinarily good movie. And Byron Allen, to his credit, was one of the leading people. He made the largest bid. I don't know why Nate didn't take it, but Nate didn't take it. And next thing you know, they hanging his brother out to dry. So I just personally think that we got to kind of look at it for what it is and stop believing that people who hate you are actually people who love you. I think that's the biggest rope-a-dope that they pulled on you when it came to integration is they made you think that the people who hate you actually love you, which causes you to let your guard down and to think that America is a country that it is not. Maybe in 100 years, America will be fair, but it ain't fair in 2020. It ain't going to be fair in 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, or 28. You're going to have to do it on your own. That's just what I believe. So Monique, thank you for your donation. She said, thank you for valuable news. Well, thank you for valuable support. I appreciate you and I respect you and I love you and I thank God for you. So I'm about to go, guys. please hit the thumbs up button right now. Please hit that share, subscribe button. Everybody, please give me a promise right now that you're going to share this video with at least one person, because we need more intelligent Black people coming together. We are our own greatest ally. So I would love for you guys to help us in the distribution process. In Hollywood, a big thing that companies do is something called distribution, which is where they put the content out to the world so people can see it. Well, we are our own corporation. So I would love for you guys to be part of the distribution team. All of you have social media. All of you got Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, Instagrams, whatever. If you could right now just take that video and share it to other people, I would be eternally grateful to you. And so I'm about to go, guys. And I'm going to do an analysis again later on the Black Financial Channel on the current markets. I actually had notes on this. I literally was going to break down some of what is going on in the stock market. I'll do that a little bit later today, I promise. And make sure you subscribe, theblackfinancialchannel.com, and also follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram. It is on Instagram. So hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. And also, if you want to learn about stock market investing, you guys know I have a great program. It's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. There's a section at the bottom on what Dr. Boyce is buying, where I break down all the stocks that I'm buying and why. So if you're looking for some guidance on that, feel free to go to theblackstockmarketprogram.com. So take care, guys. I'm out of here. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.